was that it just output the text similar to how it does it on the command line. So that's hard to read and hard to pick out the parts you want, because especially when you're using a large model like the DeepSeek-R1 32B, is that it thinks and it outputs a lot of information, so you need to extract the part that you want. So for example, when you ask the model like that, like who's the mayor of Toronto, it's not going to simply say the mayor of Toronto is this. It's going to explain this, its thinking process, so it's going to write like 2 or 3 pages of content. So especially when the text is all jumbled up together, there's no spaces, random sentences, it's very hard to read. So that's why I wanted to do something like Markdown. Yeah, that's perfectly fine if you only care about its answers with text. However, sometimes I ask it for code. The code is just, I'm not going to rely on AI code for my professional work, or even when I'm doing this type of tutorials, but I want to see how it progresses, and it's fun. Yeah, it's a fun little thing, especially when you're starting out. You might need some extra help. So obviously, if the code is formatted properly, I can tell you right away if it's gonna work or not, instead of having to extract it and do all this weird stuff. So I wanted to do the syntax highlighting. Now what happened is, at about 43 minutes past the hour during the live stream, Ollama, the one I was using yesterday, it created some zombie processes, and they would not release the dedicated GPU. So that the problem with that is because I was using the dedicated GPU to also record the video. So the problem is that it messed up the video. I was able to get a little bit of that back using FFmpeg, but the problem was I kept on talking for about an hour before I realized the problem. So basically from 43 minutes to about 1 hour when I wanted to finish, that about 17 minutes was missing. So I could have simply created a short video and recreated that 15 minutes or 17 minutes and applied that video, but that wasn't fair. So so it gave me a chance to find something else, and that's what this tutorial is about. So I've already removed Ollama, and I'm now using Llama. I think it's called Llama.cpp. In Fedora to install it is Llama-cpp. So yeah, that's the one I'm using, and I was surprised when I installed it yesterday. I was surprised how quickly it would answer, and it was just using the CPU, and I'm like, whoa, it's much faster than the others which were using the GPU. I was just blown away. And then I went through it. I was testing it. You could specify how much of the GPU it uses. So by default, what it does, it uses, I think, about 30% of the GPU. So the problem with that is that's fine, but for example, when I ask it for coding questions, it's going to think longer. So I wanted to use 100% of the GPU because the model I was using, it's capable. It's all capable of being on the GPU. So so I tweaked it. Finally found a way to get it to use 100% of the GPU. I'll show that in an upcoming tutorial. It would most likely be next week. That's when I'll do it. So another thing I also did was I also researched because one of the subscribers or viewers, he said that I shouldn't be using wget or crow. I should be using something like Axel or another one, Arias. So I decided to use Arias because they also have ROCm and they do parallel downloading, and they also have ROCm as well. So that's I was pretty pleased with it, and I'm going to show you today when I'm actually using it for that. So unfortunately, I was hoping to be able to use the same model for the Ollama client, the Ollama with Llama.cpp, but that didn't work because what I found out what Ollama does is it converts it into its own, I guess you could call it proprietary, its own format, which is not supported anywhere else except for Ollama. So that means I need to re-download it, which is perfectly fine. I prefer to have the models the way you download them. That way, it'll be easier to convert to other formats later, or if I decide to use a different application, I can do that. So we're going to use Llama.cpp. It's really fast, and for example, I asked it one of the normal questions. I said, "Who is the mayor of Toronto?" So when I went to check the GPU, I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Nothing's going on. It's not using the GPU, it's not using the CPU. What's going on? So I want to check. The answer was already there. And I was using the just the CPU. So the good thing about this is that obviously, as I said, if you're asking things like coding or things which has to think a little bit more, it's going to be a little bit slower. Sorry, it's going to be much slower. But the thing is, it can work just on the CPU. So this is great for people who have maybe something like a Raspberry Pi that doesn't come with a GPU or something with less specs. It will work if you're willing to wait. So I'm very happy with this, and of course I'm using Fedora Linux. Oh, that's another thing too. I also upgraded my installation of Fedora. I'm now on Fedora 43. Everything's working so fine. I found a bug today which I already I sent in the bug report. So when I have NetBeans open, if I drag and drop, for example, usually you guys see me, I always drag and drop into text editors. So when you drag and drop into a text editor, even if just a little bit of that dragging item goes by NetBeans, I'm not using NetBeans, I'm just dragging close by it, even a little bit no mouse over, then it crashes the entire GNOME shell, and then you have to log in again, which is really annoying because, for example, like now I'm doing a live stream, I wouldn't want that to happen. So what I've done is I made sure I'll probably see if they can fix that because I do use NetBeans, but I haven't found a suitable replacement for NetBeans yet. I still use it especially for work. It's very handy, but I'm open to trying. That's another viewer asked why I don't just stick to Emacs. Why am I using all these editors and whatever? And I told them the reason I'm doing that is because these editors, they're all open source, by the way, but I'm saying that they might have a different take on something that could be nice, could be useful. So I'm saying is that the fact that they're improving or coming up with unique features or smart features, that's good. You don't want to just be stuck and think that's a be-all end-all. Because I tried Emacs. I tried to use it as a daily driver for about 4 months, and what I found annoying is that you need to keep all your scripts, the ones you've tweaked yourself, and sometimes if something comes up, you tweak your script. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying that if something happens and then you're like, oh shoot, I didn't use something like Git to for the revision for the script, so I don't remember how it worked before, so it was a little bit annoying and a nuisance. So anyway, so let's continue here. So just a quick refresher. I was using requests and JSON libraries built into Python in order to, because Ollama by itself, it comes with some AI endpoints, so I was using Python to communicate with it. So as you can tell, that's going to have a little performance hit because you have that API, and I have to create my own API, but it worked. But the problem is, you see, in order to run it in the background, you have to type Ollama space serve space and then ampersand. That keeps it kind of like a detached, keeps on running until you close the when you close the terminal window. But as you guys saw yesterday, that didn't work, and I said it will not release the GPU. So those zombie processes were basically crashed the system. So I had to reboot. So before I reboot, I said, you know what? Let me take this chance to so I performed an update, and I said, no, let me upgrade to let me update to Fedora 43. The reason I wanted to do that is because in Fedora 43, as opposed to Fedora 42, is that in Fedora 43, the Llama.cpp, it comes with the command line one, that's Llama -cli. So that one I could test things quickly, but I'm going to use Python just for you guys as well, because I said I've already done the web UI. So what I want to do going forward is just continuously improve the web UI, add features to it. So that's the plan. Okay, so this stuff is no longer like you would pull the DeepSeek-R1. Yeah, we're not going to do that. But to be fair, so that you guys can see the performance difference, I will download this one, but I want to download the GGUF version. And I did a tutorial in, if you don't understand now with the quantization stuff, I did a full tutorial. It's a very, very long tutorial where I explained, I think it was for ComfyUI. I explained all the quantization methods, how to choose between Q, K, M, and you see what it says, Q4, Q5, Q6, all that stuff. I did a very, very long, detailed tutorial. So that could be your getaway point tool if you understand, if you want to understand AI models and how they're quantized or the efficiency. That will help you as well. So, and if you obviously have low resources, that article will definitely help you as well. So this code here, let's just say it's deprecated. I'm not going to be using that anymore. I'm going to be using Llama.cpp going forward from now on. Okay, so that was this is all from yesterday, and obviously when using I'm using AMD Instinct Mi60, which comes with 32 gigs of HBM2 memory. So it's a server GPU. It doesn't come with any cooling because it expects the fan from the case of the server to cool it down. So clearly that's not the usual, consumer grade CPU. So what I did is I got a fan shroud with a 40mm fan, and this blows right through it, and that's enough to cool it down, as you guys will see later. The only problem is it's loud, so that's why I prefer doing it manually, and it goes up very, very quickly, as you guys will see. So I'm gonna give DeepSeek-R1 32B one more chance. I found even a better I found even a better model, by the way, for chatting, and you guys so be tuned for that for next week. All right, so this is screenshots again. You can see. So here's the problem I was saying. You see, it just outputs all the text, and it's very hard to read because it has run-on sentences. There's no, usually after period there's a space. It doesn't have that. It just puts everything together. So it's really difficult to read and extract, especially for code as well. So these were the answers. So what I'm going to do, as I said before, I'm going to download a quantized version. It might be better, it might be worse. I don't know. We'll find out together. All right. So before I do that, let me get the download working. So that way I want to get the download working, because if the download is going to take, if it takes like 5 minutes, I don't want to be twiddling my thumbs. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go to you see I'm in my mount folder here, which is this one here. So I'm going to go, you see I have a models folder. I changed it, I deleted all that stuff from before. You see here I have these two models right now. So what I want to do is I want to add another model here, and I'm going to cd into that folder, cd models, and then I'm going to download DeepSeek-R1 32B, because it's supposed to be good for writing. So I will test it further. This one I've been testing, the Gamma. It's really, really good. Llama hasn't impressed me at all, but I use this one for testing in order to get all the GPUs. So but I doubt I'll do a review of this one. I'm really happy with this one, so I might just bypass this one. Or if I get low on content, which I seriously doubt, I might do this one, but it's not good. It's not good. This one is surprisingly good. Wow, this one is really, really good. This one might actually get 100% of this. I might have to retire this because of this guy here. It's really, really good. But I'll give you a hint. You see, when I ask it who's the mayor of Toronto, it gives the answer like that, and it's the correct answer. Yeah, that is amazing. Okay, so enough yapping here. I'm going to open up okay, I'm going to use Chromium here, because some of these sites usually have some type of advertising. So we're going to go to Hugging Face. Okay, and this is the model I was talking about, the Gamma, the writer by J. Gutenberg. So I'm going to search for models. So the one I want is DeepSeek R1. So I want the no, it's already found it up here. So it has to be a GGUF. I think it also works with something else. I'll show you that when we look at the code. So here in the search, I'm going to just paste it in there. and you can see we have oh, here we go, this one, the G. We have this one. What's the difference between, I don't know the difference between these two. I've never heard of this guys, but hopefully oh, this one's uncensored. They're all distilled, so I am not sure which one to get. And so I've heard of this guy, so let's pick I wish you could show the download. I guess that would be unfair, but okay, so let's just go here. Let's pick this guy just randomly. So this one has been downloaded 10,000 times. That's good enough for me. So this is the part I was telling you about. You see here, this is 2-bit. So clearly this one, so the more bits, the more accurate it's going to be. So meaning that although this one is, it's a 32 parameter model, this one is, if you take 2-bit, it won't be very accurate. 3-bit also. The one where you start getting some better accuracies is in 4 and 5. So you see here you have stuff like KM, so I'd recommend getting this one. So this one should work okay with my system. Now because these are also only text, what do you call it? These are text-based chat or chat-based large language models. Because they can use your RAM or the CPU, so that's perfectly fine, meaning that yeah, you might have to wait a little bit longer, you can use this. But I'm saying is that you can get something much bigger than your GPU, because you guys know, you saw I was running like pretty large models when I used to have the GTX 950, which only has 2 gigs of VRAM, and I only had 16 gigs of RAM, so there you go. And especially if they're newer, the newer ones, actually sorry, that's not true, the older ones were somehow able to run, I guess because they were not looking for specific hardware, they were able to run on lower spec devices. So especially when you get one like this one, which is a community version by this guy Bartowski, you shouldn't have any problem. So for me, because I have 32 gigs of VRAM, which is now going to be completely free for AI modeling when I'm doing this tutorial, so there won't be any, hopefully there won't be any more crashes. So I can get 5-bit, 6-bit, probably even 8-bit. I wouldn't chance getting the 16-bit one. I don't think that will fit on my system. If I get more RAM, sure, but not now. So I could probably get away with the 6-bit. The problem is sometimes it wants to do something in memory, so I'm not going to chance it, because if you remember, as I said before, I have 32 gigs of RAM, but the problem is it's not really 32 gigs of RAM, because I also have an integrated graphics. That's the one I plug in the monitors and obviously stuff like OBS and everything. So what I am going to do is, I mean, the integrated graphics reserves 4 gigs of RAM. So then I'm down to 28 gigs, and then about 8 gigs is used for this ZRAM. That's another swap thing in memory. So already I'm down to about 20, right? And then you get my point. So then after that, obviously I'm running, the browsers, OBS, they need some as well. Now you should free up a little bit of RAM here and there as well. So there's that. So I don't really have, as I said, 32 gigs, right? So so this one, the 5-bit, is going to be up there as well. So most likely what I should do, I should get probably this one, the KM. This one is probably a good one. This is probably one of the best ones up here. So but it won't be as accurate as the 5-bit. So I'm torn between these guys here. So now I guarantee you this one here is probably going to be more accurate answers here than this one here. So in order not to waste any time, I'm going to grab this one, the KM, the 9 KM, what do you call it? Q4 KM. And before I grab it, I'm going to I'll just grab it first. And you can tell you also here, you see the full weights and all this. You can go read this as well. So then this will help you. See, this is the one they say is highly recommended. I can probably get away with this one, the Q5KM. If you actually see, it will probably tell you don't get that one. You see, remember slightly larger, repackaging, blah, 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 all this stuff. So yeah, so you see the one that's high quality, that's the ones you want. You see when it says high quality, you notice none of the you see it says good quality. Most use cases recommended. So that's why I said this is KM, the one I should grab. But the really one I should get is this one here, the Q5. Now, let me check my RAM. Let's see how much RAM I have free here. And so you see I have I'm using 29. So as I said, remember the reason it says 29, that's because I said of the reserved. So really what I have is I have about 22 RAM. So remember, Llama is also going to be running as well, Python. So it's a little bit. So the Q5, this one here, any of these Q5s, like the slightly lower quality with more space savings. So legacy, yeah, I don't want that one. So this one, good quality. Why is the window? Oh, because they're using a table. Is there a scroll bar? Yeah, so man, between, I don't know which one I should grab for between these two here. You know what, I think I'll get this one because it looks like it's a slightly lower quality with more space saving. You know what, I'm gonna grab this one. Oh no, so that's QS. I thought it was 5. I thought it was Q5. I was about to jump on it. You see this one, it says high quality recommended. This one is going to be really pushing it. So this one is going to be pushing it. I'm not sure if I should push it. What do you guys think? Yeah, so this is yeah, so this one is really pushing. You know what, I'm going to grab this guy. Let's go. Q5. That's what I'm going to grab. Okay, so what you do is you click here. So you just click here, and then it'll come here, and then you can. There should be a download. Yeah, here we go. So there's I'm going to copy the download link. I'm going to copy. See, make sure it's a GGUF format. So that's what you do. You see, that's the actual name. Before I do that, so I did copy it, and I'll show you. Just a second. I will. I need some space here. Let me put it in the editor here. Can I just, yes, perfect. So this is the URL. I want to grab this so I can show you. Yeah, there we go. I want to grab this. I need the name. I'll show you why I need the name later. So I put it in the. I'm just going to make a little change here. Okay, and hit in document. Perfect. All right, so then to, where is my, okay, I don't need that, don't save, and just a second. So as I said, I'm going to download it using what is it going to use? Yeah, I'm going to use ARIA. I'll show you how to do this all on the command line. So what I need is, I'll explain this later. I mean, when this is downloading, I'll explain this, what all this does. Okay, so what I need is the output. It's a good idea to give it to get a specific output. Otherwise, it will give a very long name. So you don't want that. And then you put this in double quotes. Make sure there's a space there, and put that in double quotes. So I already installed ARIA 2 from the repositories, but then the command to actually use is with the C. That's a little bit confusing. So I'll explain what all this does. But I need to go to the command line. See, I'm in the models here. I want to start downloading, and you see it should start downloading here. So I'm going to paste that here. Okay, so it's going to download it, and you see it's 21 gigs. And see how fast it is. It's really fast because it does a parallel. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see what's going on here. There we go. So it's going to do parallel downloads, and it should while it's right now it's already 1%. So while that's downloading, I'll explain what this command does here. So as I said, this area is the it's a command line tool, and what hyphen C stands for continue, meaning that if something happens, you'll be able to resume. Hyphen X, that stands for how many connections per server. So obviously, if you're using something like, say, which has multiple connections, it will be able to connect multiple times and download it as well. So if you have especially a high-speed internet, like you guys some of you guys are probably on gigabit, that would be fantastic to to be able to download with that many connections. Probably give you guys a second to download something like this. And then hyphen S, that means it will split the download into here I put 16, so it's going to split it into 16 segments. That's for parallel downloading. So that's another. Of course, you can play around with these numbers if you want. Hyphen K, this means each of those chunk or segment size is going to be 1 megabyte. Okay, so that's also another way to split them up so that if you have to resume, you can resume easier. So if you had a very large chunk, obviously you lose that big chunk. So that's another option. And then hyphen O, this is pretty simple. That's the output name. So this is going to be the output name here, and then of course space, and then in double quotes here, that's the URL we're downloading from. So that's it. Pretty simple. And as you can see here, it's already at close to 2 gigs. It's already it's close to 2 gigs, and you see here it says it's going to take 29 or whatever. It's going to take 29 somewhere about 20 minutes. It most likely won't take that long, but we can let that go. That's no problem. We have enough stuff to do while it's downloading. All right. So I'll show you the code from yesterday here. So in right here, you guys might remember this. So let me actually minimize this one now. So you guys might remember this. This was the first tutorial when I did the DeepSeek. I ran it completely no command line. I had this Python script which just went to the AI endpoints. So the good thing about Ollama is you don't need to use Python. You can use PHP, you can use Bash scripts, anything you want, because Ollama already comes with its own AI points. You can just say generate and all that stuff. So I'll show you this code just in case some of you guys didn't watch the first tutorial. So let's put it here. It's very simple. I'm not going to go too much about it because we're going to be repeating the same thing over and over again. As you can see, we use the request and JSON, and then the for Ollama, it's localhost 11434. That's a default. You see it says /API/generate. You always use this if you're using Ollama. And then the payload, you tell it what model to use, and then the prompt is what you're going to send to it. So obviously, and you're going to accept JSON. So it will print the raw results, and you just split it and just output it out on the screen. That's all that is. So here's the question I asked it. You're a professional fiction author, blah blah blah, and the tone is light, the settings raw, the main character is Joe Biden, blah blah. It's just a little joke, and then it will just print it out. As I said, very very simple, very 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 simple stuff. Okay, so that was the one from I said, like, I think 2 weeks ago. No, not 2 weeks ago. It was actually beginning of October of 2025. I think it was October the 8th. And then this is the one from yesterday. This is yesterday's tutorial, this one here. And that one, I created an index.html file. Let's take a look at that one. And this is its styling. So this is not a styling tutorial. I'll just go over this one very quickly. I'll zoom in just a little bit. So for this one, I just had a div and a form. Let's focus on the form here. So the form is obviously just an input type text, and then whatever someone types in here, that will be the prompt that will be sent to the Python server. I'll show you that in a second. And we just use see when you click this button, the submit button, it grabs the user input and the chat box, and obviously it will have to put, there should be an output somewhere to output says Yeah, and then what will happen is, I thought we trim it here somewhere. Yeah, so we use fetch API, we post it, and we stringify the text there, and then after that we get a response. If the response is in JSON, we remove the word thinking, or the class thinking, sorry, and then we just put whatever output we have there. That's it. That's all we do. Nice and simple. Now, as I said, the problem with that, as you saw with the screenshots, I can scroll up just here. You'll see the problem with that is it outputs everything here, but it's very hard to read. It's very hard to make out what's going on there. So, so what I decided to do is, sorry, I didn't show you the Python. Called server.python. So up here, what it does is, again, we're using requests and JSON, and we're instead of running it on the command line, having a server process Python, I just put in a Python script here. So it's going to start up the HTTP server, the Butane one, and the default port will be 8000 here. You see the model name is DeepSeek-R1 32B. And you see again, I told you where it's going there. If you're using Ollama /API/generate, we send it the payload, and then after that we get the response. And what else do we do here? Yeah, we make sure we get a response, and then we just output it. And this is the endpoint we created, localhost 8000. So the mistake I made, I think in yesterday's tutorial, I used 127.0.0.1 instead of localhost. It was, so this is one of the reasons it's a good idea to put all the variables in one place, and I would not have made a mistake. And of course, the self path is index.html. And after that, that's it. That's literally it. Nice and simple. Now I said the problem with this one is Ollama. You have to start the server manually, and then there's no way to stop the server. Because it relieves zombie processes, like as you guys saw. So that was a nuisance, but it did work. So then I ran some tests. You guys saw, I believe this did come out, the markdown one, and then the syntax. So I wasn't able to get to the syntax highlight. That's when the stream got cut off, because the Ollama would not release the GPU, the dedicated GPU. However, I said I had to basically restart the system, but I said, hey, so what I did, I tested the Llama, and that's where we're here right now. Okay, let me see how long our friend here is, how much time has going. It says 33 minutes. How much has it downloaded? So it's downloaded about 1/3, and it still has about 14 gigs to go, roughly 14 gigs to go. So that's fine. So in the meantime, we have stuff to do. Yeah, we're making good time. Okay, so we can test the other models, I'm saying. So what I did is I then I'm saying I'll explain this further in when I create an article about Llama.cpp. So what I did was I said you guys didn't see the syntax highlight, but it does work. Yeah, so I'll show you. So here, this is for today's tutorial. The index.html, did it change a little bit? I don't think it did. Oh no, it did. Yeah, you guys probably didn't see this because what is it? The stream got cut off. So I'll show that to you. But this one has been tweaked to use Llama.cpp instead of Ollama. So I'll just drop it here. So as you can see here, I'm just going to zoom up a little bit more. Wow. Okay, so this is this minified file. That's obviously for Markdown, and this one here is for the highlight.js and highlight the minified version. Sorry, this one is the CSS for the highlighter, syntax highlighter. So as you can see here, I've changed it to, this is why I was getting the name, so there's no confusion, because I don't want to use a different, I want to make sure that the models are there. So you can see everything here stays the same. The only difference is the first thing you'll do is it's going to be slightly slower than the Markdown one, because what happens is the Markdown one will then check to see if there's any code in it, and it will highlight it. So that's There's a slight noticeable difference, but it's still worth it. You can see it actually on the screen. It will be a little flash or whatever if there's code. Okay, and then of course we had the same thing at event listener. See, we get the same stuff. We trim it this time, and then what does it do here? So it's the same thing. You see the thinking message and all that, exactly the same. Again, we do stringify it, right? As you can see here, it's the same as before. The rest of the code doesn't change. Okay, except obviously for the syntax highlight. That's the only change. Now here's the server Python file. I said I'm going to zip through this really quickly because we have what do you call it? What do we have here? Let me scroll up. We have I said I would write a tutorial where I explain everything here, but this is just to show you it's working. And the GPU is here as well. Where is the, yeah, here we go. You need to just specify the path dot gguf, is it? Yeah, lowercase gguf. Okay, so that's it. So the most important thing is you have to tell it if you have more than one GPU. You have to tell it, you have to specify what GPU it should use. I don't know if it's just a ROCm or it's an NVIDIA thing as well, so I had to do that. Otherwise, what it was doing is it was splitting stuff between the CPU, the first GPU, the dedicated GPU, and the integrated GPU. Now, the integrated GPU doesn't support it, so that was a pain because then it will always put an error. So if you see the instructions online, it will tell you, oh, just give it more, fool around with those numbers, which didn't make any sense. I didn't want to do that. So I wanted to make sure that I tell it, see, this is the GPU layers to offload. You see this? People tell you to put unlimited and whatever. It's still split. So I had to specify that obviously use this, don't use the integrated graphics. The integrated graphics is extremely important, otherwise there will be no stream. Alright, so that's it. I said I'll explain all this stuff when I create the dedicated article for it. And I'm going to show you now my OBS setup, just in case you think I'm goofing around. So we go to settings here, and we go to output. You see it's using the VAAP1, that's the integrated graphics. You see it says mobile series. When we go to recording, you see I'm also doing the same thing as well. Before it was this one here, the Mi60. I decided not to use that one because I noticed every single time I use it for recording doesn't use it that much because I don't even have the fan running. On high settings, but it was still pain in the butt in that it always it always the quality was a little bit worse and it took a little bit longer. So this way the GPU is free just for that. So as I said, I'm on Linux. I'm using the Wayland desktop. So one of the problems with that is, you see it says docs here. If you guys notice, there's no web browser docs. There's still a bug in Chromium browser, so I'm not able to get them in here, which is so that's why when I do live chat, I have to manually go and check all the different platforms. Okay, so actually thinking of that, I'm going to check the platform now. There's nothing in YouTube, nothing in BitChute, there's nothing in Rumble, and there's nothing on Odyssey right now, which is perfectly fine. All right, so let's go check what number is this guy up to now. It's now at 12 gigs, so roughly about 9 gigs to go, and now it says 6 minutes. So instead of waiting for 6 minutes, I'm actually going to run this model, this one here, which is the Llama.cpp. I'm going to run that one, and I'll show you what the output is. Before I do that, I just remembered something. I should also I need to do something else before I start that. What happened to... Oh, the models are here. Okay, so this is where the model... Oh, the models are here. I need to obviously start the cooler control. If you don't know what the cooler control is, it's this guy here. So I need to start that up. So let me cd this one back, and I'll just do sudo cooler control with the app image. I put in my secure password, and then it's going to search. So this is definitely, because I'm using the GPU, I would definitely need to, you see here, it's 127.0.0.11987. So I'll go to that when I actually start the server. The good things now is controlled by Python. So the Python script, if I kill it or something, that's all I need to do. So I'm gonna get out of here. I don't want to go to DeepSeek. I'll just go down one, and I think it's cd Llama.cpp chat. Yes, there we go. That's where I want to be. Absolutely. So here I'm going to start a Python server. No, I don't need to start a Python server. Just type Python, and then I just type server.py, and you can see it's attempting to load the Llama model. Let me zoom out here so you guys can see it. You see it's offloading to the GPU. So while it's doing that, I am going to open up, I thought I had a web browser. Oh yeah, I do. It's right here. Okay, so it is 1.1 something. Yeah, there we go. So cooler control. I don't know why it's so large. There we go. So you see, this is the dedicated GPU, and this is the integrated GPU. So I don't need the integrated GPU. The fan we care about is this fan right here, system fan 2. Okay, so I'm using the sensor for that one is NCT6687. Now, if you're on Linux and you're confused, because if you read anything online, they'll tell you that the 6687 was merged into the Linux kernel together with the 6683 sensor. The problem is the 6683 sensor it works for detecting the 6687, but the problem is it won't allow you to control them like you see I'm doing here. It won't allow you because the names are a little bit different. So I had to compile this from scratch from GitHub, and then I use DKMS. So DKMS means that you compile it once, and anytime there's a kernel update, or for example, as I said, I did a system upgrade from 42 to 43, it will compile by itself. You don't have to touch anything. So it will keep on compiling all by itself. So that's fantastic. So I will set this to 50%, 50, which is about 8,000 RPM. But I'm not going to start it yet until we're ready. So I'll go here, and I believe if we go back to the command line, yeah, here, see it's ready. Let me zoom out here so you guys can read this. You see, it loaded all this stuff. You see ROCm 0, that's the GPU. So if we scroll all the way up here, all the way, you see here, it attempted to offload 999 layers to ROCm. Obviously, depending on the model, for example, this one I think only has 24 layers, so those all easily fit inside the GPU. And I can tell you said it found one device because of when we said only visible to 0, meaning only one device. And then there's also the variables I said, llama no map, and you see it found it. I don't know, it says CUDA, that's so weird. AMD, when you see GFX 906, that's Mi60 GPU. So you see it loaded this Llama.27B chat Q6. So Q6, as I said before, it's higher quality than say Q5 and Q4. If your system does support it. So obviously, as I said, I have 32 gigs of VRAM that clearly supports. You see here, that's 32 gigs of 32,000 megabytes, which is 32 gigs. So as you can see here, everything loaded up pretty nicely. See, assigned. So I was wrong, 32 of them. There's 999, which is perfectly fine, and there's still space to spare. So this is what I was trying to say before. Is like the GPU is clearly capable. I don't know why it was. Yeah, before it was splitting. You see what it will do here? It will take about 10 of them, put them in the CPU, and then it will take about a few of them and put them on the GPU 0, and then the rest on GPU 1, which was really, really frustrating. So now you see all this stuff, they're all done on the the dedicated GPU, and that's perfectly fine. Now this is going to go much faster. So we just go to localhost 8000 because we have an index.lazy again, just index.html. If I renamed it something else, I would have to obviously put slash and then whatever the name is. But because I call it index.html, I don't need to put anything. So all I have to need to do is just go to localhost. Remember, it's localhost. I go to 8000, and you see Llama.27B chat Q6 underscore K. So this one is a much better model than the one that will be Q5 or Q4. So let's see how far our friend here is. The download still has, oh, it's almost done. You know what? I'm even debating whether I should actually continue. You know what? I'm going to run this model. I'm not going to run this one. I'm going to actually stop it because this guy is done. See, it's done. It's finished. It's finished downloading. So let's run the DeepSeek-R1 because it's finished downloading. I'm hoping it doesn't mess up. So if it does, I won't touch AI until next week. I don't. It should offload to the CPU so we can check. You see, this guy only took very little memory as well. Let me actually put it here so you guys can see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go. Was it here? I can't remember. Yeah, this is the one. So just press Ctrl+C, and the server has stopped. So I'm going to go back one and go to the DeepSeek. Yeah, DeepSeek-R1. And then we're going to go to Llama. So the same code I showed you guys is the same one I'm going to run right here. So here instead, yeah, I'm going to run this one instead. So just type python server.py. Let me make sure the name is exactly what we're looking for. I might have made something stupid mistakes. Yeah, see DeepSeek, yeah, it downloaded, and you see the file size is 22 gig. So this one might be a problematic. I hope it's not, but let's find out. So hit run. It's going to offload. This is the first time I'm doing this, so this might not work. Hopefully it does work. Let's see what goes on here. Okay, so loaded 064 onto the, and then it says cannot be used, preferred buffer, using the CPU instead. Yeah, so that was my fault. You see, this one is going to be slow because I guess it used up all the, I think as I said, probably not enough. So so this is going to be slow, unfortunately, because it's going to use the CPU. So I should have picked a smaller model, but I don't feel like downloading another 20 gigs. Yeah, so this is going to take a while because it's going to use the CPU, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, it's going to use the CPU. How many is, oh, it has, yeah, so that's a little bit unfortunate. So that's going to take a while because it's going to use the CPU. Yeah, that's going to be a while. Oh wow, so it used 21 gigs and it only used half a gig for the RAM. That shouldn't be too bad. Okay, why doesn't it put everything onto the GPU? It's clearly more RAM, right? You guys see that? Okay, it looks like it's running. That's fine. So it's gonna be slower. That's my fault. I said I should have picked the Q4. So that's what I'm saying. When you just be aware when you do things like that. So this is actually a good thing that this happened, so you guys can tell. So if I refresh this, it should be using the Jeeps. Yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna ask it a simple question, but before I do that, because I know it's using the GPU, I'm going to prepare here, and I'm going to start up the GPU because I know. Actually, yeah, let's try it. Let's be stupid. So I'll ask it, what license do you use? This is a simple question. It shouldn't be too hard for it to do. So I click on that, and let's click on the GPU here. You see the GPU is already jumping up. You saw that? The GPU already jumped up. You saw how quickly it jumped up? It didn't even give me time to click on it. So you see RPM is 8500, and you see the GPU temperature is already, this is a dedicated one by the way. You see how already it's jumping up that much? Oh, it's going down, so that's good news. So that means the answer already came. So if we go check the answer here, and there we go. So it's using the MIT license. Okay, so normally it's so fast you don't even need to use the dedicated GPU. However, you see this is the markdown formatting. See, it's nice. This is what I was trying to show you guys yesterday. Right, so not bad at all, not bad at all, really nice. So that's what I'm saying, it's easier to read. I know it's MIT license, and I did a tutorial on the MIT license. I think so, the first one of the licenses that I did a tutorial on explaining them. Alright, so the next thing I'm going to ask it, who is the mayor of Toronto? Who is, actually let me get the actual questions so that you guys can see who is the mayor of Toronto. The mayor is John Tory. John Tory has been serving. So you see how fast that was, and that's because, but it's still wrong. The answer is wrong. But he's serving mayor since 2024. Okay, no problem. So I'm going to ask it about PHP now. So a question like that, it was so fast that one didn't even bother using the GPU. So I'm going to ask it. I need a PHP code snippet to connect to a MySQL database. So this one is what, this is the type of question I want to ask it, so you guys will see. So this one's going to take a little longer. Now if we actually go to the command line, you can see what's going on here. You see it will say Llama generate remaining 16 prompt. Yeah, of course you can tweak those as well. The tokens and all that. As I said, I'll explain that in the when I write. Oh, it's done. Whoa, that's actually pretty fast. It's done, and you see this is much better because I'll tell you what happened here. So all right, I need to write a PHP code. So it wrote some PHP code. Now the good thing about this is it tells you establish the database credentials. This is actually correct. This is true. The syntax is correct. I don't need to run it, I can tell it's correct. Then it's using the MySQL improved extension instead of the MySQL, which was deprecated and removed. This is correct. Is equal to false die. This is correct as well. So this is correct. That is 100% correct. This code is perfect. I don't need to run it, but it does work. Alright, so I'm going to ask it. Here's one that trips up some of them. I need a 1080p screenshot of the GNOME desktop environment, so I hit that. Now if this would go much faster if this was all done on the GPU, but I said because you guys saw some of the stuff it said it's going to use the CPU for. That sometimes is because the models they obviously do rely on the CPU as well and memory. And you can see, look at the memory look at the memory usage here. Oh, that is pretty fast. Damn, that's fast. You see, barely used any memory. We should get rid of. So this swap here is. So now the good thing, I think the swap is using ZRAM. So that it's still memory. So it's much faster than if you put it on the disk. You see here, so it gives. That's what I was saying. You see, I like Markdown because with Markdown, you see it's formatted in a way that is easy to easy to read. Now, is this accurate? I can tell you if it says open the screenshot tool, the GNOME desktop, Alt-Shift-S. This is actually more recent. The GNOME screenshot, I think that was for old version. I'll double check on that. You know what? I can go check it right now. Let's open up a terminal and let's do a DNF search. GNOME screenshot. Wow, that's actually correct. I'm blown away. Yeah, so you guys learned something. The higher the queue number, the more accurate it's going to be. And in this case, I was really surprised. I'm like, that looks pretty accurate. So that is accurate. The whole screen, that's also accurate. My goodness, this is the first time I have received an answer from an AI that is actually accurate. Now, I wouldn't give this 100% answer correct because I asked for the GNOME desktop. Not everybody's going to be using the GNOME desktop, unless maybe it tells you you should. Okay, so it's making an assumption here which is wrong, but the steps are accurate. I'm blown away. All right, let's go to the other part. That this one always trips up AI, and I'll be willing to test this one if it actually gives a good answer. Now, if the formatting is correct, I might be tempted to actually, you guys might see me run this, but I can tell you I'll be a firm believer in AI if it actually gets this one right. So let's go check you can check the GPU. You see it's going up a little bit. No, it's going down. No way. That means it already gave an answer? No way. Oh my goodness, it gave an answer already. This is the fastest answers I've ever received. Okay, I need to write Kotlin. Wait, I should consider the rotation of the device. Is it going to give another answer, or did it get clipped off or something? I need to create a texture. Looks like it's talking to itself. I think, yeah, this one I have to give it a fail because it's talking to itself, which is fine, but it didn't give me the code. Because I clearly, if you look at my request, I said I need the Kotlin code snippet to open the camera using Camera 2 API and place the camera view on a texture view. So it did walk through the process, but it didn't give me the code. So I'll fail this one. Man, I would have been scared if it gave me some code. Woo, thank goodness it didn't. Okay, so the last one here is another one I've never received even anything close to a good answer. So it's I need a Blender blend file for fire animation. So let's look at this one. So we can go to the cooler here, and the temperature is increasing, so that means it's doing something. Okay, so increasing that fast. Okay, 60, 70, 61. It's going pretty slow. Normally it just shoots right up, like you guys saw how quickly it was. Oh, it's already going down. You have an answer already? Wow. Okay, so it's an open Blender, so new projects that you've seen. The particle system. This is old. This is old. This doesn't work. At least for Blender 4.5. I think even the 4 series. So this is wrong. So this is a fail. But overall, you guys. Oh, looks like it got clipped off. Looks like some of the stuff got clipped off here. Yeah. So that's another improvement I guess I need to make, is that I need to let it wait. I think what happens is it produces the answers in chunks, meaning that when you run the command line, you'll see it will spit out one answer and then another one after that. Yeah. So we can tweak that. I'll show you. I said I'll explain that when I do the dedicated video for this, and we'll improve on this as well. So one of the things that got cut off is, you see, the problem with this is there's a few problems. First of all, there's no way to clear the. I mean, you can refresh, but there's no way to clear the input box so that more new content can be, displayed here. Another thing is, for example, if it produces code, for example, like this, I would like it to be able to, to download this code. Maybe click something, maybe even if it's just a text file, like the answer. Click here, then it can save it in a text file, then you can download and do whatever you want. So those are the type of things. In the night stream, for next time we do AI, I'll probably improve on that. So I'm happy with this. This is way faster than Ollama. You guys can, especially because you have more fine grain control. So really, really nice. You guys will be pretty impressed with that model, that Rider model. Yeah, you'll be impressed with it. I was blown away with it. And especially now that I found out how to, let me stop this guy. It should be, yeah, it's good enough. I can get it back so I stop yelling. There we go. Sorry about that. So as I was saying is that I've been very impressed with Llama.cpp because it's way faster. You see, even this one, it was using a little bit of the CPU, and it's still way faster than any AI local chat thing I have done. It's really fast. In fact, it is so fast that I've been testing. I've hinted to you guys. I've been testing some proprietary AI models, and this guy just today is much. I mean, the DeepSeek is really fast. So I'm really impressed with that. So so I said I'm happy that I was able to find a way to use my GPU. It took obviously it's in case you're wondering, it's an I have an all AMD system. I have the AMD Ryzen 5 5600. The CPU, it's six cores and 12 threads. As I've explained, I have 32 gigs of RAM, but I explained how that RAM is. It's not, I don't get all of it because, as I said, 4 gigs are reserved for the integrated graphics, and swap here uses about 8 gigs of them. So when you say 3.4, this is not actually on disk. This is on 8 gigs of this is actually RAM itself. It's called ZRAM, and the rest of this is, I'll show you here. It's when we go to AI folder here, this one here, I also created a swap file. I think it's 16 gigs, 16 or 18, I can't remember. What is 8? 18, I think it's 18 gigs. Yeah, it's 18 gigs. Oh, I can show you in the command line. I'll do that for you, show you how big it is. So if we go to the command line here, and I type df-h, where is it here? Where's the 8 gig one? Where can I see it here? Anywho, yeah, it's oh, where can I see it? Am I crazy? Can't seem to see it. Okay, anyways, yeah, it is 8 gigs, and yeah, it is 8 gigs, and the other one takes up the rest of that. Oh, there, I can just right click on this. Why didn't I just do that? It says it's, yeah, so it says 17 gigs. I guess that's 16 gigs or something. Or you get the point. So that's it. So is it free maybe? If I type free, yeah, here we go, free. So in free you can see how much memory I have and how much is total swap, which is clearly the same thing as you can see here. So that's basically it. I wanted to show you guys that I'm moving on from Ollama to Llama.cpp. I'm very happy. And you can do the same thing on the command line. I'll show you the same. I'll show you the command. Well, what can I speak? I'll show you the command you can run right on the command line. So what you do is, let's head over to the command line here, and I'm wondering if I can run it at the same time parallel. Let's try it. Okay, so just let you know before I do anything stupid, is that if the system crashes, I would like to thank everybody who subscribed so far this month. Keep it up because it helps the channel grow. As I said earlier, is that a lot of this stuff has been me obviously doing some research, and a lot of viewers and subscribers sharing their information. So like I'm doing here, I learned some stuff literally just yesterday, and I'm sharing with you guys as well. So I want to get that out because in case the signal gets cuts off, it's not because I did, well, it's because I did something stupid. Anyways, so here there's a command called Llama. Let me clean this up. So clean and clear. Oh yeah, we'll zoom in. So there's a command. It's called Llama. What is it called? So I'll show you what Llama.cpp version I'm using. So if you just type llama cli space hyphen, it's going to take a while because it's going to load all the GPUs. I don't want that. So I'm gonna hide them so I can get you the version number. And you see it says no ROCm files. That's because I told it not to look for them, because if it looks for them it takes a while, may take up to a minute. So you see the version with the version HP version 6.443. I don't know why it says version 0. That is super weird. Anyways, I'm running Fedora 43. Whatever Fedora 43 version has is the one that I do have. And the other thing is you can also get help. Again, just hide the GPUs, otherwise it will take a while to find all of them. So let me zoom out here a little bit. You can see this is the help. And maybe it will give us the version number here in the help. Let's see. So these are all the options. You can pass it. So I said we can we'll go through this. You can set how many CPUs to use, etc., etc. So again here it says it's this, no, that's the other one. So it says fail. Yeah. So as you can see, there's quite a few options here. Now this one is meant for just loading obviously large language models, meaning chat. Excuse me. Grab a little bit of water. I noticed since I've been drinking a little bit of water during the live streams, my throat is not as coarse as it was before. Yeah, so if you want to generate, say, images or videos, you need to use it with something else. So I don't know if I'm ready for that yet because I'm still getting comfortable with the Comfy UI. So, but yeah, so I definitely like this. So you can see stuff like if you have multiple GPUs, you have to pick the main GPU. I said I'll explain all this in the other one. So the model URL, and you can see here Hugging Face, optional stuff like that. There's quite a bit of stuff here. So I use it with the GGUF models. I said I'll explain again in the other tutorial. So you can see here an example to create if you want to get it to. If you want it to, let me zoom out. So zoom in. Sorry, I apologize about that. So if you want to get some text generation, or if you want a chat conversation, all you do is you type. In this case, I just want text generation. That's everything. So just type CLI space -m, then your model, basically the path to your model. In my case, it's /mount/AI/models, and then -p is obviously for the prompt, and then what do you call it? And your prompt, and then after that you tell it how many. You could tell it how many. What the answer is. If you don't put any of this, it will just keep on going. And it's like by default, I noticed it was like 3 pages worth. So that's why it got clipped off there before. Yeah. So that's fantastic. Anyways, so let's do a quick test. So what model are we going to use? Let's go back into our models here. I need to grab, I think I pasted in the text editor. Yes, I did. So I need the path to this guy, which I already know. So I'll maybe copy this. I'm going to ask it what license it uses, as you guys saw earlier. So pretty simple. So that's going to be /mount/AI/models/ yeah, that's it. I'm gonna, and then my prompt is, what license do you use? ? Okay. So go back to the command line. There's a command line here. Let me clear this, and I paste this in here. Okay. Well, let me make sure it's. I don't think it's going to use the GPU. Oops, that's not the GPU. Where? So you notice, you can tell it didn't use the GPU at all. You see this? The GPU is still staying at the dedicated GPU. It's using that. Yeah, you see the temperature for the CPU went up a little bit, so that's one it's going to use. Most likely use. Hopefully, the answer is done. Is this the answer one? I can't remember. I don't remember where I was. Oh yeah, I did. So you see it found both of the GPUs. Oh, something's going on there. I have to make sure. I have to be careful because this guy can go up very, very quickly. So it's using the CPU. I'll tell you why it's using the CPU. That's why I said you have to tell it specifically, otherwise it's going to use the CPU. Obviously the CPU is much slower than the GPU. So it's using the CPU, and the CPU has a span profile, so it will probably go, I think, I can't remember how high it went up, but that's fine. I'll just wait for the answer. So as you can see here, as I was saying before, it found both GPUs. When it says GFX90C, I think the C stands for CPU, that's the integrated one. And then remember the GFX906, this one, that's the dedicated graphics. Now I don't want it to use this one. I clearly don't want it to use the integrated one, because I said that's what I'm using for recording, as I showed you in OBS. I'm also using it for the streaming, and obviously to run the monitors and other things as well. So I clearly don't want that one to be used for this model. So let's see what it did here. You can see here it offloading to GPU, and you see it only offloaded 65 layers to the GPU. So glad enough that it actually offloaded to the correct GPU, which is the dedicated one. But I don't think it did anything, because this temperature didn't go up. And then as you can see here, it obviously used the CPU, which was unfortunate, but it did. Do you mean to set up system instead? Main chat, your helpful assistant. Is that the answer? I hope not. Running Control C. Okay, there we go. It says the answer is, what license do you use? It says I was developed in strict compliance with the AI generative AI. Blah, 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 blah. So that's what it says. Now, isn't that interesting? Right? Isn't that interesting? Right? So yeah, so it gives a different answer depending on the settings. So that's why I wanted to show you guys that, just to show you. If you remember this answer, this was the same answer that it gave when I used the Ollama, right? Now, to be fair to Ollama, obviously you can send it some tweaks as well, but I said this is much easier because this is more low level, so much better. And the answer came out. I didn't even touch the GPU. So I can also do another one if I want, but I think that's good enough for today's tutorial. What do you guys think? Okay, so that worked out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with that. Now I can move on from AI stuff until next week. And I said next week, be sure to join, because it's going to be really, really awesome. Yes, very happy with this. Very happy. I can now produce, I can now get it to produce answers just as fast as the proprietary AI. And I said if you pick the right model, as you guys will see next week, yeah, you're golden. So so let's do a quick overview of what we did today. I showed you guys how to pick a model depending on your system. So make sure you know how much RAM you have, how much VRAM you have on your GPU, and then you have to play around. So one of the things as well I didn't mention, as I'll mention right now, is the higher the Q value, the slower it's going to be. So meaning that had I gotten, let's say, a Q2 or Q3, even a Q4, they're much faster than Q5, Q6, Q7, Q8. But the problem is those ones, they're more accurate, the quality is better, but they're also slower. So if you want speed, the happy medium is about Q4, especially the KM. And obviously if your system can handle it. I personally prefer smaller models because they're also they're faster, and they can easily fit inside the on the GPU. You know, one thing I should actually do a review of this chair. Right? This chair is not even it's barely 2 years old, and it's already the so-called leather stuff already started falling off, and I have to put something. Anyways, yeah, I should probably do a review on it. Yeah, I should. Long-term review. Okay, so anything else I want to show you guys? Yeah, that's it. That's basically. Oh, did I show you how to install this? I can't remember I showed you how to install this. I'll show you. Okay, so here we go. Let me clear this. Isn't it done? Oh, it's not done yet. Jeez. Oh, it's still going. I thought it was finished. Oh, it's chatting. It's chatting with me. Okay, I don't want to chat. I'm gonna Control C. I don't want to chat. Okay, I just want to clear the screen. Oh, am I stuck? Oh, it says Control C to interject at any time. Okay, maybe Control C twice. Okay, there we go. Control C twice. I didn't realize it was to run. Okay, so let me clear this. I didn't want to chat with it. Sorry, but oh, that is amazing. So, I could think of something there. Okay, let me continue here. So you just type DNF search. You just type Llama. Press enter. And you see, this is what I installed. Sorry, keep on forgetting. Sorry, I apologize about that. So I installed this guy, Llama-cpp, and I also installed this Python 3-llama-cpp-python. Those are the two things I did install, and obviously I removed this Ollama here. I'm pretty happy with the Llama-cpp, and you see, just Control C. Obviously I did do it twice, but perfect. I'm so happy with that. Okay, so and then yeah, so that's it. So would I keep the DeepSeek-R1? I'm not sure, but you know what, to be fair, I said I will test it against the Rider one, which you guys will see. It's a smaller model, very accurate, and it basically gets to the point instead of writing, which is one thing I dislike about the DeepSeek, because it gives you its think process. Sometimes I don't want that, but there you go. All right, yeah, so let's finish this up. So you don't need, guys, you don't need to say very low memory, which is very awesome. So I could probably even have gone for a bigger model, but the problem is you'd have gone to the CPU, a bit slow. So you guys saw the answers. I'm not even going to bother with that. The answers were actually very much better than this one here, except the Mayor of Toronto is still, I didn't get that right. And what else is here? So if you want to level up your Python skills, this simple web integration is just the beginning of what you can do with Python and the powerful local LLMs. My book, deepen your Python knowledge with my book, Learning Python. It's available on Amazon. The link is also in the description. I also have a course if you want to get structured learning and hands-on practice with my Learning Python online course, available on Ojambo.com, and the link is also in the description. If you guys want coupons for the course, let me know. I was giving them out a lot last year. I could print some, or I could, yeah, I can create some for you guys if you need. Just let me know. If you need professional AI and Python services, if you need expert help setting up the powerful technology or mastering your coding skills, I offer one-on-one tutorials online, tailored to you and your learning pace and goals. Contact me at Ojambo.com/contact. And if you need LLM, that stands for large language model installation and migration, I offer professional install for LLMs like the DeepSeek-R1 32B, or migrating it to your machine or server environment to ensure smooth, optimal performance. You can contact me at ojamboservices.com/contact. The link is also in the description. Okay, that's it. Also be sure to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comments for more content such as this one. And it also inspires me to make content because I'm helping people and people help me as well. So we all learn together. I share everything. Some of my clients in the past used to ask me, Edward, why don't you keep some of that information, make it proprietary? I said, I want to learn, right? So I share because when I learn, everybody shares the information and things get better. Everybody gets better. When I mean better, I mean your knowledge improves. That's what I mean. Okay, I have three other recommended resources. I live in a rural area, so the cellular service and the internet is non-existent. So I use SpaceX Starlink residential service. It's a satellite system, satellite internet, low orbit, and it's fantastic. It gives me high-speed internet. For example, right now, as I told you before, I'm live streaming on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, Odyssey at the same time. Right, I'm using FFmpeg, by the way, in case you're wondering, and they all work perfectly. and that's because I'm using SpaceX Starlink. It gives me high-speed internet in the area, and I also use it also when for example, like today, I had a video conference with one of my customers, and I'm going to have another video conference with him also tomorrow, and others as well. And there's no problem. And I also use it on my phone for Wi-Fi calling. So it allows me to send and receive calls, text messages, including MMS, the multimedia messages as well. And yeah, perfect, absolutely. So it works. It even works when I'm outside, all the way up to the hoop coop. If you guys have seen some pictures of my hoop coop with the chickens, yeah, it works all the way up to there. Now, to be fair, when it's super windy, whatever, sometimes it's not so good. But yeah, because that was when I had the old phone. So when I replaced it with this phone, it actually works very well. Fantastic. All right. The next one is this little guy right here. I'm coming up with a 1-year review, so I'm going to write an article. This little guy is called the Honeywell HeatBud Personal Ceramic Heater. I have a referral link, and like this, the SpaceX Starlink residential service link there is, if you use it, if you get the service, I'll get 1 month free, and you guys will get a discount. The discount and its duration will depend on your geographical area, but you will get a discount. So about this ceramic heater is, it's 250 watts, but the low power setting is, I think it's 180 watts if I remember correctly. Let me read it here. It's in the article. It doesn't say, it says 235 and 250, but the point is, this little guy, I can stay in a room like this one here. During winter, instead of heating the house, because I use propane, propane is really expensive to heat the whole house. So instead of heating the house up to like 20-25 degrees Celsius, I can heat the house up to say 16 degrees, not all the time, 16-15 degrees. And then in this room here, because I have obviously the workstation, it's a smaller room as well, of course, and obviously I have the monitors, the 4K monitor especially. It produces some heat, even myself here. So then all I need sometimes a little bit more heat. So this little guy is fantastic, and you see it's right on my desk, and so it's basically personal. So all I need is just heat myself. I don't need to heat everything else. So it's working fantastic. It helped me save a lot of money. In last winter, it was very harsh. It helped me save a lot of money. I'll give you an example. The first day I was here, spending like $350 or more. I think one time it's close to $500 a month on propane, right? Last year, and that was when it was mild. Last year it was very harsh, and the most I think I paid was maybe $250. So, and this year I want to pay even less. So what I've decided to do this year, I haven't turned on the heater yet, but what I'm going to do this year is I'm going to turn down the temperature to 16, maybe even lower than that. So it's never, the temperature will never hit more than 16 degrees. I'll explain that in the article. This guy is going to be fantastic. As I said, I've been using it for 1 year. So of course, if it's a little cool, or my hands are, especially when I come from outside, I can just turn it on for a little while instead of using hot water or something else. So it's fantastic. All right. And is that it? Oh yeah, I keep on forgetting. So I've been promoting this novelette all the month long. It's called The Algorithmic Serpent. It's a psychological thriller. It's made by, it was created, I'm the author, Ojambo. It's about a scientist who creates an AI system, and he loses his mind. So not only does he have to regain control of his mind, but he also has to regain control of the AI system. You see, this is the back here. This is the paperback version. As you can see, there are pages in there, and there's also a ebook version. Both are available on Amazon right now. So I made them as affordable as possible. So if you can pick it up, let me know what you think, good or bad, because I want to improve. I keep on explaining that all the time. I do want to improve. I love writing. I want to improve my writing skills as well. If you have Kindle Unlimited, it's free. So that's a way you can pick it up and just take a look and let me know what you think. I said, good or bad, let me know. I'm a big boy, I can handle it. Right? Okay, with that said, I'm going to check the live chat before I close this. So I'm gonna start with Odyssey. I don't see a live chat, that's fine. I go to Rumble. Shout out to everybody in Rumble there, and then I'm gonna go to BitChute. I don't see a live chat. Then obviously YouTube. There's some people on YouTube. Nobody in the chat. That's fine. So I'm gonna close this, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. Bye now. Good night, and happy day. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.